everyone, and welcome back to another explainer. Today, we are tackling a title that you literally see on job boards everywhere. But honestly, it's one of the most constantly misunderstood roles in the entire corporate world. We're talking about the Scrum Master. So, whether you're a seasoned developer, maybe an aspiring Scrum Master yourself, or just someone trying to figure out how agile teams actually get things done, this explainer is completely designed for you. Okay, let's start off with a bit of a truth bomb directly from our sources. Quote, most people think a Scrum Master runs meetings. The best ones make sure great meetings run themselves. Let's really dive into this, because a Scrum Master isn't just some administrative assistant for software developers, and they definitely aren't just rigid schedule enforcers. They are the masters of the Scrum framework, and their true value? It's all about empowering the entire team. So, to demystify this role, here is our roadmap for today. We'll be covering 1. Beyond just running meetings, 2. The servant leader mindset, 3. Removing blockers and protecting, 4. Facilitating the Scrum events, 5. Avoiding common Scrum Master mistakes, and finally 6. The invisible, indispensable hero. All right, jumping right into section 1, beyond just running meetings, myth versus reality. To really grasp what a Scrum Master actually is, we first have to clearly define what they are absolutely not. Just look at the stark contrast here between a traditional project manager and an agile Scrum Master. In a traditional setup, you have a project manager who manages the project, hands out specific assignments, and focuses really heavily on deadlines, usually from a place of top-down control. But a Scrum Master, they own the process, not the people. As our sources point out, the product owner decides what to build, the developers decide exactly how to build it, but the Scrum Master, they ensure the framework is actually working. They have the authority over the process to help the team self-organize, but they definitely do not assign the tasks. Moving right along to section 2, the servant leader mindset, guiding, not bossing. So this brings us to the foundational philosophy that drives a Scrum Master's behavior every single day. The Scrum Guide explicitly defines them as true leaders who serve the Scrum team and the larger organization. Now, what does servant leader actually mean in the real world? It can sound a little bit like corporate jargon, I know, but practically, it literally means leading by serving. It means dedicating yourself to coaching the team so they can manage themselves better and just relentlessly removing any hurdles in their way. You're not there to boss people around, you are there to elevate them. A great way to think about it is like a personal trainer. A personal trainer is going to motivate you. They make absolutely sure your form is correct so you don't hurt yourself, and they're constantly reminding you of your big long-term goals. But they don't lift the weights for you. And a Scrum Master operates exactly like this. They coach the team on agile practices, they hold them accountable to their commitments, and they correct their Scrum form, but they are absolutely not jumping in and doing the coding or the design work themselves. Which leads us perfectly into section 3, removing blockers and protecting, the daily grind. Let's shift our focus to what this role actually looks like on, say, a random Tuesday. A massive part of the job is removing blockers, or what the Scrum Guide formally calls impediments. And I'll be honest, this isn't always glamorous work. It definitely means eliminating complex workflow bottlenecks, for sure, but sometimes it means literally fixing broken computers. It might mean moving desks around to get better team collaboration going, or even going out to grab snacks and tweaking the office thermostat if that is what the team needs to stay perfectly focused. A great Scrum Master just completely leaves their ego at the door and does whatever it takes to keep the team moving forward. But hey, they aren't just out there removing physical obstacles. They are actively protecting the team. A really good Scrum Master acts almost like Batman. They're humble, they're protective, and they live by the strict moral code of servant leadership. They act as a total shield. They protect developers from their own tendencies to overcommit to way too much work during a sprint, and they fiercely block outside noise. Like those overly aggressive stakeholders trying to change the scope of work right in the middle of a sprint. They protect the team's focus. Let's move to section 4, facilitating the Scrum events, the team's heartbeat. As you probably know, Scrum relies on a very specific cadence to keep work flowing smoothly and build a predictable rhythm. The Scrum Master facilitates 4 formal events within a sprint container. First up is sprint planning, where the team maps out the upcoming work. Second is the daily Scrum, which is a super quick 15-minute sync for developers to inspect their progress. Third is the sprint review, where the team shows the actual, tangible outcome to stakeholders. And fourth, the sprint retrospective, where the team pauses to figure out exactly how to improve their process for the next round. The crucial point here is that their true value isn't just acting as a human calendar sending out invites. Not at all. It's ensuring these events are highly positive, super productive, and kept strictly within their designated time box. For example, if a 15-minute daily scrum starts rambling into a massive 45-minute technical debate, well, it's the Scrum Master's job to step right in, respectfully correct the form, and get the team back on track. They maximize productivity by minimizing wasted time. Next up is Section 5, Avoiding Common Master Mistakes, What Not to Do. Because this role is such a delicate, unique balancing act, it is incredibly easy for new Scrum Masters to get it totally wrong. These right here are the classic anti-patterns, and falling into these habits completely ruins a team's ability to self-organize. First, acting like a traditional boss who just tells people what to do. Second, jumping in and doing the actual development work yourself instead of coaching the others. Third, dictating exactly how the team should solve their technical problems. And finally, skipping the sprint retrospective because everyone feels too busy. Look, skipping the retro means skipping your absolute only chance to adapt and improve. Let's look at a really specific, real-world example to make this crystal clear. Let's say the team failed to deliver a shippable product this sprint. The incorrect approach is for the Scrum Master to flex some false authority and say, I want Todd to review all code because we missed our goal. That's dictating how the team works. The correct, true servant leader approach is to hold the team to their commitments by asking, hey, we missed our goal. What can we do to improve our process next time? See the difference? You coach the team to come up with their own solution. Maybe they do decide Todd should review the code, but that decision belongs entirely to them. And finally, we arrive at Section 6, the invisible, indispensable hero, wrapping up. We have covered a ton of ground today, exploring everything from the daily, gritty blocker removal to the core values of Agile coaching. And honestly, it all boils down to this one powerful thesis statement from our sources. A great Scrum Master is invisible when things go well and indispensable when they don't. When the team is absolutely humming, communicating flawlessly, and just crushing their sprint goals, the Scrum Master happily fades into the background. But the very second a major blocker hits, or conflict flares up, or some external distraction threatens the sprint, bam! The Scrum Master steps right up and proves their immense, indispensable value. They truly are the invisible force keeping the whole Agile machinery running. But it leaves us with a pretty fascinating question. If a Scrum Master's ultimate goal is to build a perfectly self-organizing, independent team, does a truly masterful Scrum Master eventually coach themselves entirely out of a job? I really want to hear from you on this one. What makes your Scrum Master great? Or, hey, if you are a Scrum Master, what is your absolute biggest daily challenge? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you appreciate clear, structured learning that cuts right through the noise, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss another explainer. Keep learning, stay focused, and I will catch you in the next one.